Hey guys and gals, it's Coffin. Here's two very true and scary road trip horror stories. This happened in the summer of 2019. My two friends, Aaron and Luke, had just finished their last college finals, and we wanted to celebrate by taking a week-long road trip through Colorado and into Utah. We weren't into partying or clubs. We wanted nature, peace, and maybe a little adrenaline. So we planned a route that hit a bunch of national parks, starting from Denver and looping down through Moab, then back. The first few days were perfect. We hiked in Rocky Mountain National Park, camped under the stars, and just decompressed. It felt good. No stress, no pressure. But then we hit day 4. That day started normal. We were heading toward a small town in Utah called Green River. The GPS took us down this 2-lane desert road, no traffic, no towns, nothing for miles. We were in the middle of absolute nowhere. The sun was setting behind us, casting this deep red glow over the hills. It looked cool, but it also felt weirdly off. About an hour down the road, Aaron said he needed to pee, so he pulled over. No buildings in sight, just dry brush, rocks, and empty desert. While he went off behind a bush, Luke and I just stretched our legs. But then we heard something. Not a car, not wind. It sounded like humming, like a low, tuneless hum coming from the desert. We both looked at each other, thinking it was maybe Aaron messing with us. But when he came back, we asked if he heard it too. He said no, but the second he said that, the humming stopped. We laughed it off. Maybe it was the wind whistling through something out there. Whatever. We got back in the car and kept going. But then we saw the house. It came out of nowhere, this old crumbling house sitting about 50 feet off the road. No driveway, no mailbox, just this thing sitting like it had been forgotten by time. The wood was gray and warped, windows boarded up, roof half collapsed. We didn't even notice it until the headlights lit it up. Aaron immediately said, "Yo, that's creepy as hell." But Luke, who was always the curious one, said we should go check it out. I said no. Aaron said hell no, but Luke was already grabbing his flashlight. We argued for a bit, then stupidly decided we'd go look, just for a second. As soon as we stepped out of the car, I felt it, that pressure in your chest like something's watching you. I couldn't explain it. I thought maybe it was just the desert air getting cold, but the second we got close to the house, we all stopped. There were footprints, fresh ones, leading to the house, but none leading away. At that point, I said, "Screw this, I'm going back to the car." Aaron followed, but Luke kept going. He walked up to the porch and shined his light through a crack in the boards. I yelled at him to stop messing around, but he waved me off. Then he froze. He didn't say anything. He didn't move, just stood there staring through the boards. I ran up to him and grabbed his shoulder. He jumped back like he'd been shocked and said, "There's someone in there." I asked what he saw, but he just kept shaking his head, mumbling, No. We ran back to the car. Luke wouldn't talk for the next hour. He just stared out the window. Then the headlights cut out. I slammed the brakes. Total darkness. We were in the middle of nowhere, no signal, and the engine was still running, but the headlights just died. I turned them off and back on. Nothing. Aaron hit the brights. Nothing. So I turned the car off, waited a few seconds, and turned it back on. That's when we saw it. There was someone standing in the road. Dead center. Just a silhouette in the darkness. No flashlight, no car, no movement. Then it slowly raised its arm and pointed at us. Aaron screamed. I floored it. The figure didn't move, but as we got closer, it disappeared. Not ran, not jumped, just gone, like it blinked out of existence. We didn't stop again that night. Didn't talk. We drove straight through to the nearest gas station, slept in the car under a streetlight, and left Utah the next morning. But here's the part that still keeps me up. 2 weeks later, Luke finally told me what he saw through the boards. He said he saw a man crouched in the corner of the room, staring directly at him through a hole in the wood. But the man wasn't blinking, wasn't moving, just smiling. And behind him were more people, all crouched, all smiling, all watching him. And every single one of them had no eyes. They were empty. This happened to me 2 years ago when I was driving cross-country to move from Florida to California. I didn't want to fly. I wanted the experience, the open road, the freedom. I packed everything I owned into my SUV and planned to make the trip in 3 days. By the second night, I was in New Mexico. I remember because it was around 11:30 p.m. and the highway was completely dead. No cars ahead of me, none behind. Just open desert, pitch black on both sides, and a straight stretch of road that seemed to go on forever. I passed a green sign that read mile marker 197, and not even a minute later, I saw someone standing on the side of the road. At first, I thought it was a hitchhiker. He was just standing there, still as a statue, not waving or holding a sign, just watching the road. He looked like he was wearing a long coat, even though it was almost 80 degrees out. I slowed down just a little. Something about him made me uneasy. His head followed the car as I passed, but he never moved. That would have been weird enough, but then, about 5 minutes later, I saw him again, standing next to another sign, mile marker 197. I was confused. Maybe I saw the same number earlier, and my brain was just playing tricks on me. But this time, he was closer to the road, like right up near the white line. Again, not moving, just watching. I didn't stop. I sped up. That's when I noticed something else. My gas tank had just dropped from half a tank to empty. Suddenly, my car started making a sputtering sound, and I barely coasted under the shoulder before it died completely. Dead silence. No cell service, no lights, no towns for 30 miles in either direction. Just me, my dying battery, and the desert. I locked the doors and waited, hoping a car would pass, but in the rearview mirror, I saw something that made my stomach drop. There was a faint figure walking down the center of the road, heading straight toward me. It was him, the same guy, only now I could see his face a little clearer. He wasn't normal. His face was too long, his eyes too wide, and his mouth was hanging open like it was stuck. But he wasn't breathing. He wasn't blinking, just walking, one slow, dragging step at a time. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't drive, couldn't call for help. I slid down in my seat and stayed completely still, praying he'd pass. But then, he stopped, right next to my window. He leaned in, close. I could hear something faint, like a whisper. I couldn't make it out, but it sounded like he was repeating the same sentence over and over. Then, he started laughing. Quietly at first, but it kept building. Louder and louder, until it turned into full-blown screaming laughter, right outside my window. Then, just as fast as it started, he went silent and walked away. I stayed in the car until the sun came up. When it did, I finally got a signal and called roadside assistance. When they arrived and towed my SUV, I asked the driver about mile marker 197. He looked at me strange and said, "That marker was removed years ago after a man was hit by a car and killed walking along the highway." I asked if they ever caught the driver. He shook his head. "Nope. But people still say they see him, always walking, always stuck at 197. I haven't driven at night since." If you guys enjoyed, leaving a like and a comment would be greatly appreciated. If you have a story of your own, feel free to send it to my email, linked in the description. Take it easy.